Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars video. It is I coming at you once again, your favourite galactic hostess, Star Wars Meg. And today, it kind of feels like 2023 again, because I'm going to be talking about the character of Marrok, someone who's appeared in both the Ahsoka show and Tales of the Empire. And he just appeared in the Maul Shadow Lord trailer, the upcoming Star Wars animated series coming on April 6th, which by the way looks incredible. But I have some more thoughts on the issue. Honestly, I find this Inquisitor fascinating, and I think Maul Shadow Lord is about to answer a lot of our questions we've had since the first time he appeared. And when he did first show up in Ahsoka, fans had so many questions about his identity. Was this someone we saw in Rebels? Was he the 8th brother? How does he fit into the wider structure of the Inquisitorius? Well, since Lucasfilm has provided a little bit of information about him, notably, his designation is the first brother. This information, paired with the fact Lucasfilm seems obsessed with him, is the main reason I made this video, and also the reason he's more important than you think. This is the third time Marrok has appeared in the last couple of years. Lucasfilm is known to recycle and reuse character designs, but in-universe, the choice to include him in Shadow Lord seems very deliberate. This show is something which Sam Witwer worked on, and Dave Filoni. Up until this point, there were tons of theories and assumptions about Marrok, but nothing concrete. Lucasfilm has never answered our big questions. Did he survive the entire age of the Empire, and against all the odds, wasn't killed by Vader in the end? Did he really survive all the way up to the age of the New Republic? And of course, an even bigger question, when Ahsoka killed him, green smoke came out of him. So was he a revived zombie, and not his initial form? But that's one of the reasons Maul Shadow Lord is as important as it is. It's actually going to give us some answers. And based on the trailer mixed with some of the things we already know, I think Marrok was initially killed dead, maybe even by Maul in this show in Shadow Lord, and he was later revived by Night Sisters to work under Morgan Elsbeth. But now I'm wondering, why was this specific Inquisitor the one they chose to revive? Why not the Grand Inquisitor? Why not some of the other brothers and sisters? Why was it Marrok? Beyond being a great duelist and a loyalist, why is he so special? And why was he given the designation of the first brother? Now this is where my theories kick in. The most obvious connection they could make is that Marrok is the secret apprentice of Darth Vader. In essence, a canon version of Starkiller, but in Disney Star Wars canon, he's someone that Vader picked from the bunch, and has unique attributes that render him a specially trained warrior, someone who isn't like the rest. Fans have pointed to his name Marrok being very similar to Marrok, as in Galen Marrok, and not to mention, Sam Witwer voiced the character in Ahsoka. In the third episode of Season 1, Sam is credited under additional voices, and this was later confirmed to include Marrok. But I should point out, for Maul Shadow Lord there is a separate voice actor, but it doesn't nullify the idea of Marrok being especially important. He was literally hand-selected with the Birdman to go and fight Maul.
The Emperor wants you dead.
Now, a few years ago, Sam Witwer dropped a bombshell during a Twitch stream, where he said that Dave Filoni told him that he considered bringing Starkiller into canon in Star Wars Rebels, but it just didn't fit the story they were trying to tell. But it's no secret, Filoni has long been fascinated by the inner workings of the early Empire. He's probably had dozens of conversations with George about it, and specifically, just like we see in the comics, how Darth Vader went about killing and recruiting remaining Force users. The wrath and revenge of the Sith. And this went well beyond Order 66. So if Dave wants to do something that I guess changes the equation in terms of how the Inquisitorius worked, the secrets behind someone like Marrok, Maul Shadow Lord is the best place to explore this. I really want to know who Marrok is, and who Marrok was. What kind of Jedi was he? Is it someone we've heard about? Are they someone whose master we're familiar with? The same way we found out the revelation that Aayla Secura was once the master of the Seventh Sister. Now in my trailer breakdown I theorized that Maul might eventually face Darth Vader if the Inquisitors keep letting him down, which I think they will, but I'm actually really keen to learn about Palpatine's reaction to all of this. He already knows Maul is alive, and he fought both him and his brother Savage since episode 1, but does he expect Maul to be alive this far down the timeline? And what is his reaction? By the time of Rebels, Maul is seeking two things: revenge over Palpatine and Obi-Wan, two very separate deals, but also power. And this is something which Sidious might keep an eye on. Once upon a time, Maul was Sidious's apprentice. his Anakin before he even met Anakin, someone to shape and manipulate as a tool for the ultimate Sith grand plan. But when Sidious learned of Maul's survival, he was in shock, and what followed was a rare moment of silenced disbelief. While initially dismissive and viewing Maul as a discarded failed tool of the Sith, Palpatine later viewed him as a dangerous rogue, someone who could be a threat. He wasn't angry that Maul survived Naboo, he was irritated that Maul thought he still mattered. And Palpatine is so irritated, Marrok tells him, "The Emperor wants you dead." This is why I think ultimately Palpatine will do what he must to try and eliminate Maul. So I think Vader will be the final boss. But we know Vader will fail too. The circumstances I'm sure are going to make sense, because on paper, Vader could wipe the floor with Maul. And I think another really cool dimension that Maul Shadow Lord is going to explore, and I don't know if it's deliberate or not, is the alternative for Jedi who don't go into exile and who aren't captured and made to become Inquisitors. Maul's Twi'lek apprentice is now confirmed to be a Jedi survivor herself. So what happens to conflicted Jedi, which is what Lucasfilm officially describes her as, when she comes across someone like Maul, who gives her an out, who promises her power? In her own way, is she Maul's enforcer? Is she his version of an Inquisitor? And in a way, if you think about Star Wars Rebels, is she kind of like a precursor to Ezra, but not as strong-willed? Maul promised similar things to Kanan's apprentice, but mentally by that point, Maul is more far gone. So I wonder how things are going to go in this series with this Twi'lek. But now let's go back to Marrok, because I want to share with you the most outlandish theory, something which is either going to be a crazy twist, or the most insane thing that they would never do. And I will warn you, it's a bit unpopular, a bit too fanfiction-y, but you can't rule these things out. There might be a reason we've never seen Marrok's face. It's something which Lucasfilm has been very secretive about. There's a chance he's not an organic Force user who was once upon a time part of the Jedi Order. I know that's what's implied by the databank, but what if he's someone who Palpatine cloned for this specific purpose? What if he's Maul 2.0? Sidious might have kept some of Maul's DNA just before his death in The Phantom Menace. Considering Plagueis was around and in the shadows in Episode 1, maybe this is something Sidious did under his directive. Now wouldn't that be a twist? This could explain why the Night Sisters were so interested in reviving him. Maybe under the mask, something we might find out if he dies in Maul Shadow Lord, is the face of a familiar Zabrak. Could you imagine? That would be the darkest twist. But just like so many other cloned Force users, he never lives up to the potential of the OG, which is why I think Maul is going to kill him off pretty easily. So those are some thoughts I have about Marrok, but we do actually have some more breaking news for the show. According to the supervising director Brad Rao, Maul Shadow Lord's episodes are very much interconnected. They're not one-offs, and they're not isolated. We know there's going to be 10 episodes, 2 episodes every Monday from April 6th, all the way to Star Wars Day on May 4th. And by the way, I've seen someone theorize about this. This might be their way of telling us that we're not getting a Tales of anthology this year. Fair enough, if Maul is good, I think this is going to scratch that itch, but the episodes themselves are, quote, highly serialized and very connected all the way through. And I'm guessing that means there aren't going to be some side plots or some distractions from the main story, and that's going to make this feel very intense in the best possible way. This series already looks very grimy, very dark, very serious. And not just this, but we also seem to have the name of a brand new Force user, the former Master of the Twi'lek who survived Order 66. So this is probably Master Iko Dr. Darki, a very cool looking Force user, very mystical, very monk-like, and they're going to have a very prominent role as well. But those are just some additional thoughts I have following the Maul Shadow Lord trailer, my friends. What do you think? Do you think we're going to learn more about Marrok? What are your thoughts on the dark side users in this show? And what do you think Dave Filoni might accomplish with it? And if you enjoyed this video, my dear friends, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and may the Force be with you always.